So for the in-house embryogenesis culture, several steps were taken. First of all, an alcohol lamp was made. Here's the image. This was basically a glass container, alcohol, and cotton cloth. Another important step that was later used was a laminar hood. This was made with a cardboard box and inside aluminum foil. One really important step for the media is measuring the pH, so a homemade pH indicator was made with cabbage and boiling water. This was later on used for measuring the pH. The first actual step was selecting the area and sterilizing it, so the area for working was right next to where the autoclave would be so that the transfer would be immediate, and this area was sterilized with sodium hypochlorite and bleach. For the media, MS media was used along with a multivitamin tablet, and instead of the 50 milliliters of water, 40 milliliters were used and 10 milliliters of coconut milk were added. First, all of the ingredients were mixed except for the agar gel, and they were boiled. After they were integrated, the agar gel was put in and also boiled so that it could be completely dissolved. It is important to note that since this is not an sterile liquid, the pH needs to be measured before sterilizing in the autoclave. So a bit of the media was put into a tiny cup and then 2 drops of the pH indicator were put in it. The jar was covered with aluminum foil and then put into the pressure cooker, which would act as the autoclave, for about 30 minutes. The media was then left to cool down, and meanwhile the seeds were sterilized. They were put into a mixture of bleach, water, and a drop of detergent with continuous agitation. Once the media was cool enough, it was put into the jars to solidify inside the laminar hood, which was thoroughly cleaned. These jars were boiled and sterilized with sodium hypochlorite beforehand. When the media was solid, the sterile seeds were put into it with the help of tweezers. The tweezers were flamed before and between each seed to avoid contamination using the alcohol lamp. All of this was done in the laminar hood. A total of 4 jars received media and the seed. Since it is a bean seed, rapid embryogenesis is expected. Once the seeds were planted, the jars were covered and taken to a place next to a protected window. Here, no airflow would be in contact with them, but enough sunlight will be received. So it's been almost 6 days since the seeds were put into the media, and there's no apparent growth yet. Um, the reason to it might be due to the usage of a lot of elements in the media that may have caused a biological shock in the seeds, as stated. However, it can be seen that there's no contamination, so it is still sterile, and that's a plus. Another reason that might have affected is that, as it can be seen, the media is not completely gel. I mean, it is gelified, but it's a little bit liquid. And at the same time, since coconut milk was used, it may have an impact in the reception of light, even though it's close to a window, and the media does not cover completely the seed. So it might also have to do with that.